Welcome back to our program here on the Taiwan Outlook as we continue our conversation with Mr. Hsuan Xiao and also Ms. Hsuan Fu, both from the National Taiwan University, to talk about their experiences in extracurricular activities, both in Taiwan and also internationally. I'm going to start off with a question that both of you, as we learned, just came back from 1 year and also 6 months international exchange programs in a different country. And Warren, of course, just came back from Sweden, and Hsuan, you just came back from France. Can you then share with us the experiences that you had? That you were, Warren, you were in Sweden for over a year, and Hsuan was there for 6 months. How was that experience? Change your perception about your subject area, and also about the world, about some of the more pertinent events, and also how was some of the more memorable experiences that you have acquired from these trips? Maybe we can start off with Hsuan first.
Okay, for me, I was quite surprising when I visit France, the Museum of France.
Okay.
Because in Paris, there are a lot of museums,
of course,
and which is free entry for students under 26 years old. So every time I went to Paris or I went to some other cities in France, I will go straight forward to visit the museum.
Okay, good.
And it's very interesting that we can always see a group of small kids, small children, to have their lessons in the museums.
Yes.
And I think that French people, they're very immersed in this kind of environment. When they're young, they'll go to the museum, an art museum, and when they're growing up, they still go to the art museum.
Okay.
And this is the way how France promote their artworks, and the way France promote to the tourism.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
good. And how about you, Warren?
Yes. There are actually so many memorable experiences in this year, but the most important thing, which actually, just like you say, changed my perception of my profession and career, is to go to the COP15 Climate Change Summit in Copenhagen. My city, the city I went to for exchange is called Lund, and Lund is one of the southeast city in Sweden, so it's just right next to Copenhagen. During the 2 weeks of the conference, I traveled there for like 5 or 6 times to join some side events, and you not just see the big power are promoting their plan. You see a lot of green technology company promote. You see their efforts to mitigate climate change, but you also see what the people suffer from climate change. You see the people from small island whose land is going to be immersed into the sea, and they are claiming a lot in that conference. So that really touches me and kind of made me helped me to make the decision to set my career into green technology. And also the city of Lund, and also there's a big city beside Lund which is called Malmö. It's a very sustainable city. They implement a lot of sustainable urban design into the city. So they use biomass bus. They have very, very sustainable, no carbon emissions city area. So I really inspired a lot from that.
Yeah, then you and I were talking before the taping started. You basically went to all the Scandinavian countries, not just Sweden, right? I mean, why did you pick Scandinavia?
Actually, Scandinavia.
I actually picked Scandinavia
first. I didn't think about other countries. It is because of their one thing is the sustainability, their efforts to the sustainability. That is my interest, and also their design and their lifestyle. Swedish people, the lifestyle of their equality, of the society, the harmony, and how people live their life very close to nature. With this concept of attract me.
And let me ask you, Hsuan, that you've been to France and other parts of Europe as well. Did you experience any cultural shock when you travel out there? And I know you're very good in French, but the fact that besides the language, Was there something that you had a tough time adjusting? Was it something that, that was a little bit beyond your comprehension when you first arrived?
Yes, I think the way the foreigner have fun is really, really crazy. They will go to the bar, have a party almost every night. And in our school, we have a really, really huge party each week. And they will sell the tickets all around the schools. So it's very, very crazy. And also, we have a bar just in the middle of our school. And it's open from the noon to the 11 p.m. So you can see a lot of students, they will have a beers on their hand, going to the classroom. Yes, and have the classes, and then after we have lunch or we have dinner, and people will go to the bar to just drink a bit. Yes.
And how about you, Warren? Any culture shocks?
Right. This is also my culture shock. But there's also another culture shock which is not shocked, but really touches me. It's also just what I mentioned, the equality, the emphasizing of equality of Sweden, and they actually implement. It's not just a concept. They implement in the infrastructure in their design, like the bus of Sweden. In the bus of Sweden, you see spaces for disabled people.
Yes.
For them to go into the bus, and so because of this kind of infrastructure, you see either young people or old people going around us in the city, in the nature, they can explore what they want to do. And this is so-called from cradle to craft, the Swedish social welfare policy. And this really touches me.
But the fact of the matter is that you guys were both overseas for extended period of time. You were there for about a year, and Hsuan was there for about 6 months. And how would you, that in a foreign environment, in a different country, find ways to participate, to contribute, in a foreign country, to the causes or to the interests that you believe in? Can we start off with Hsuan?
For me, actually, I'm a person who cannot drink the alcohol. But because all the students, they will go to the bar to have fun, so I will go with them and to order something non-alcohol. And it's a way to have fun with them. You can talk. The talk is the most important things when people have fun. So usually that's what I do to cope with the things that I cannot drink alcohol.
Things that were very different from college life in Taiwan.
Yes.
And how about you, Warren?
For me, I actually continue my interest in Sweden. That is the student activity. I joined actually it's the biggest international student organization. It's called ISEC. There's also a chapter in Taiwan. So I joined ISEC Sweden, ISEC Lund, and I actually became a project manager in the second semester. What I learned from that is, of course, if you want to contribute in this foreign context, you have to speak your own opinion. You have to speak out, and you also have to show your own irreplaceable value. You have to define define yourself, know what you can do. And the other thing is cross-cultural communication. Like on one thing, different people from Sweden and people from Turkey will have different perspective on one thing. And because of their culture and social context they come from, it's very different. You have to, communicate with each other.
I believe that one thing that comes out of all these participation in different activities is friendship. And when you make friends in a different country, in a different setting, how would you then explain to them or introduce to all of them about your native country of Taiwan? They probably know very little about Taiwan to start off with, and maybe you guys were the first Taiwanese they ever met in their home country. So how would you introduce Taiwan to your foreign friends? Warren?
When I talk about Taiwan with foreign students, the impression that I get is that they actually know little about Taiwan because they didn't have much response about Taiwan. What they usually know is like the cross-strait relationship of Taiwan and China, and also some of them know about the high-tech industry of Taiwan. But what I would say more about is the culture and nature of Taiwan. That's what I think the most beautiful part of Taiwan.
And Hsuan?
For me, I will mainly focus on our high-tech industry because for most of the foreigners, they don't really know that we have a lot of brands to sell like the computers, the cell phones. For example, I visited my friend's family in Strasbourg, France, and I noticed that they have a bike of Giant.
Yes.
And I told them, oh, this is a friend of Taiwan, and they say, oh, really? I don't know that. And then they say, oh, what kind of products is Taiwan manufactures? I said, oh, we manufacture a lot of notebooks and computers, and our famous brand is like Asus and Asus. They said, oh, really? I have two Asus computers. Oh, and they are quite impressive that Taiwan can make, this small Taiwan can make so many kinds of products. So I think I make a good impression for the French people.
Yeah, for the remaining 1 minute that we have in this segment, let me ask Warren, that you are basically a young ambassador for Taiwan. You travel to foreign countries, you introduce Taiwan, but also at the same time in Taiwan you organize international activities that other foreign participants can come to Taiwan and learn about us. What would be one thing that if you ask, whether it's industry or government, to help you to become more of a competent young ambassador for Taiwan, what would be that one thing?
One thing?
Yes. Was it giving you more resources or giving more opportunities for foreigners to come into Taiwan? What would that be?
I think, of course, more resources is always what we need for this.
Always helpful.
Yeah, it's always helpful for us to have these international student activities. Because there are not just a group of us doing this thing in our university or in other universities. There are actually a lot of people wanted to do these things.
Yes, indeed.
And so we need more support, of course.
Good.
And also to have more and more foreigners come to Taiwan and not just invite them to come, but try to support some activity or event to have this foreigner mingle with Taiwanese students.
Yes.
Because if you see the exchange student in our university, they are their own group, and there's still a gap between them and Taiwanese students.
More intersection.
Yeah.
Yes. And as we talk about making Taiwan becoming more open door policy and having more foreigners coming to Taiwan to visit, we'll need to take another break on the program. But when we come back, we'll continue that focus. We're going to talk about the pending admissions of Chinese and other foreign students coming to Taiwan's universities and higher, institution of higher education in Taiwan. I'll see you in just a few minutes.